All right, so here's what happens. Here's what people do. They make the mistake of assuming they have power where they don't. And when you assume that you have power where you don't, you're denying where the power actually is. My name is Mr. 2020. You're listening to whatever the hell I call this or do with this. It may become a podcast or something else. Let's dive in. So, identity-based manifesting. Maybe you've noticed I'm nuts about that. I'm so nuts about it. We did a course on it in 2016. I'm so nuts about it. Actually, it was a training. I'm so nuts about it, we put together a package of it with it, 2 years ago. We keep exploring it and we keep discovering, because when people struggle, they're trying to make change where they can't, where they shouldn't, where it doesn't work. They're denying the power that they are. Now let's really nail this. Ready? Your identity determines your activity. My identity determines what I do with this iPad. My identity determines what happens when I go shopping. I have no choice after identity. The identity determines everything. So, when we get stuck on this concept of inspired action versus ego-driven action versus emotional responsiveness versus all these weird things that people are teaching out there, they're all illusions. It's all bullshit. Your identity leads your activity. Your identity leads all activity. When I'm at the pool and people find out what they do, actually, when they find out what I do, when I'm at the pool and they find out what I do, you know what they do? They go, God, you'd be good at that. Yeah, I am. It's who I am, not just what I do. Who I am as happy, loving husband determines what happens when I see flowers. Who I am as happy, loving puppy dad and happy, loving husband determines what I do when I see a ball. I don't decide to pick the ball up. I just pick it up. If the state of happy, loving husband is running the show, he does it because she's going to be cutting the grass. If the state of happy, loving puppy dad picks up the ball, he picks it up because he wants to throw it for the dog. In other words, something joyful happens. Now here's the thing. If you're in a shit state, you're going to feel like shit while you struggle with your shit and do what you do, which will probably involve a lot of mentating and thinking that you have the capacity to choose what you do. You don't. You've got the capacity to surrender to any state and let that state do what that state does. Neville Goddard says there's this illusion of free will. It doesn't mean you don't have free will. He says free will ends. You get to choose the idea. You get to choose the ideal that you surrender to. Happy, loving teacher, happy, loving puppy dad, happy, loving husband. Those are my big three. There's others, including Mercedes owner now, right? When I moved into the state of owning a Mercedes, all kind of things happened. Maybe you know about that win where I manifested a Mercedes in 77 minutes. And a hat in less than 7 days. Just for fun. But meanwhile, identity-based manifesting. Go there, take a peek at the titles of everything. Because this is so cutting edge, it is so transformative, and if you do it right, it gets you out of your head. If you do anything else, as far as I can tell, you're going to torture yourself with your brain. In other words, there's a reason why the skull is considered the tomb, right? It's a dark place when you get stuck there. On the other hand, I invite you to your life. My name is Mr. 2020, and I invite you to dive deeper, to go right now and get identitybasedmanifesting.com. Like I said, give it a look. Notice the titles, and if you feel drawn in, if you get, you know what? What if it was a lot easier? What if I didn't struggle? What if I didn't try to figure everything else? You realize you can spend your time figuring, or you can spend your time funning. That's it. Have a lovely day. See ya.